What do you think the impact of AI is going to be on Ethereum?
I mean, the impact of AI is going to be crazy, massive on the entire world in this century, right? The challenge is like, we have no idea what the direction is going to be, right? It's like, either it makes the world a total utopia, or it literally kills everyone, or we get some kind of, totalitarian centralization dystopia, or we get, like something that's like pretty pleasant, but it's still basically it's like only pleasant if you want to be a sheep, and otherwise it's like a global government, and then maybe 500 years later it slides off the rails anyway.
If you enjoy listening to crypto related content, please show your support by liking and subscribing to this channel by following the link in my bio, and get access to my free daily crypto updates and expert predictions direct to your inbox. Each newsletter contains market intelligence, on-chain data, and latest updates from experts in the crypto space. All of this is available completely free of charge. Signing up only takes a moment, and you can always change your mind later on. Now back over to Vitalik Buterin. In a recent discussion, Vitalik Buterin explored the potential impact of AI on the global stage and the future direction of Ethereum. One critical issue addressed was Ethereum's proposed centralization problem. Buterin identified two main strategies to mitigate this issue. To reduce proposed centralization, he suggests the introduction of multiple proposers or quarantining malicious actors, aiming to enhance decentralization. A more decentralized network is viewed as being more secure and trustworthy, which can attract more users and investors, thereby increasing the token's value. Buterin also highlighted innovative transaction processing methods, like preconfirmation mechanisms, to offer users more certainty and faster transaction times. This improved user experience could make Ethereum more appealing for everyday transactions and decentralized applications, increasing its demand. Additionally, he pointed out the importance of leveraging Layer 2 solutions to effectively scale the network by reducing congestion and transaction costs. This approach would likely attract more users and developers to the platform. The integration of AI into the Ethereum network is expected to lead to smarter applications, smart contracts, and workflows. AI advancements will make Ethereum more sophisticated and attractive. Such a technological edge would be a strong bullish catalyst for Ethereum, drawing in more investment and developers. Buterin believes that all these factors will have a significantly positive impact on Ethereum's price.
Basically, two paths out of that, right? So, like, these are, like what I call, like minimization and quarantine, right? Basically, so the first path basically says, like, we actually, do a hard pivot relative to, like 2021 era Ethereum thought. And we basically go back to try to, like kill the beast of proposer centralization. And like one of the big ideas that's been floating around is like the multi-proposer concept, right? Like you elect multiple proposers in a slot, and then they each provide a list of transactions, and then the actual block gets formed by taking the union of those transactions and then like ordering them by fee.
That's right. The Solana. That's
right. I mean, it's like Mysticeti is like the one of the protocols that's doing that. Yeah, so that's one of the ideas. And like if you can do that successfully, and if that works, then obviously, in some way the problem is solved, right? But there's obviously a lot of ifs on like like does that work? The other approach, which is quarantining, is basically essentially you take this concept of inclusion lists, and then you keep on like beefing up that concept until inclusion lists start to take up like basically almost the whole block, right? And then the thing that you're auctioning off is basically just essentially like top of block rights, right? And you auction off top of block rights with a different mechanism, and the idea would be that like even if like whoever you consider the most evil actor in the world like gets to control top of block for every slot, there's like still a limit to how much bad stuff they can do, and they can't actually like censor anyone for more than one slot or even for more than 0 slots, right? So that's also like a nice outcome. I mean, it definitely feels a lot less satisfying than just like getting rid of the problem in its entirety, but it's also an option.
Do you think PBS was a mistake?
I mean, I think PBS. I would call PBS like firmly, like in the quarantining camp. I think given what we knew at the time, like it felt like a reasonable approach, and like you always like it's hard to guess counterfactuals, right? And like there are counterfactuals that are like very dystopian, right? Like you could imagine a counterfactual where if people. Like if there's common knowledge of the idea that like MEV is big, and the only way to get MEV is to join a big staking pool that can use these sophisticated strategies to get it, then like instead of talking about like Lido at 29% and Coinbase at like 11% and like Kraken at 9 or whatever it is, we'd be talking about like, Lido at like, like 35 and then Coinbase at like 28 and Kraken at like 20, right? And then people would be, like even more upset, right? So, yeah, like you always have to ask the question of like, what is the counterfactual, right? And I think at this point, it's still like somewhat hard to say.
What do you think are the main benefits of pre-confirmation? Or you can explain also what are pre-confirmations and
so pre-confirmations are like basically a way to give users assurance that a transaction will be included, or possibly even that a transaction will be included, and like what effect, like what post state a transaction will have before that transaction actually gets confirmed. And so today we have L2s already giving pre-confirmations on their own, right? Like when you use Optimism, like you get a pre-confirmation almost immediately, right? And there's like a bunch of layer 2s that do this. There are ideas around like shared sequencers that give shared pre-confirmations between sets of layer 2s. And then there's Justin Drake's idea of having an L1 wide mechanism that does that, like for both L1 and for any L2s that are based rollups. And Justin's idea is basically to do that at like this, like basically at the level of like if you have sophisticated proposers, then those sophisticated proposers would be the ones that give those pre-confirmations.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe for expert news and predictions direct to your inbox.